Lights. Welcome back to Marvel Live at New York Comic Con 2014, brought to you by Marvel, Contest of Champions from Kabam. I'm Ryan Penagos, aka Marvel's Agent M.
I am Marvel.com editor Ben Morse. As we reach the end of the con towards the lagging hours of Sunday, we saved the best for last. We've got Secret Avengers and Bucky Barnes writer Alish Kott with us. Sir.
Hello, hello, hello.
Excited to be here?
Absolutely.
We're excited to have
Love
you.
the
Look at
mustache,
this.
gotta say.
Thank you. It's yes, it's quite perverse, isn't it?
I love it. Why else do we have mustaches but to be weird and
I
awesome?
prepared it. I was shaving on Friday, and I just sort of was taking things off, and then I just looked, and
Yeah.
I'm like on one side, I'm like, this is the first time the mustache actually works.
Yeah.
It
And
worked
I walked over to my girlfriend, and I was like, hey,
Is this okay?
does this look okay?
Yeah.
And her reaction was basically, yes,
Yeah.
in like a long way. It was great.
So she's tolerating it.
She's very happily
Oh,
tolerated.
very happy.
Nice. Love it.
All right.
I would say that she's supportive in absolutely everything I do.
That's great. And then this is the
As
most
long as I'm
important-
being kind to people.
This is the most important thing you've probably done.
In the past 3 days,
Absolutely.
it definitely feels very significant.
Man, you just launched Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. We were talking about it behind the scenes for months. I know you were excited about it. You were really wanting to push it out there and get people to read it. Now that it's out on the stands, you sold out. What's the reaction been like talking to people at the con and online everywhere?
Wonderful. Then again, I'm used to that by now. No, I'm never used to that, actually. It's always a surprise, and it was a wonderful, wonderful surprise because at the panel that we were doing today with Axel Alonso, the editor-in-chief, we got such beautiful applause, and it was repeated applause probably like 3 times
Oh,
within
man,
2
so cool.
minutes, and people were incredibly excited, very, very happy about the book, despite the book being the sort of a book where some people will tell you you shouldn't be taking so many chances, you
Yeah,
should be playing
absolutely.
it sort of safe. We did pretty much exactly the opposite.
It is not a typical first issue at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people just seem to really love it. So I am delighted. And people were stopping me at the con floor, bringing me copies. And they were just saying that they were hoping that there would be the next stage of Bucky would be something that would be like less, to quote exactly, not about man pain. And I was really happy about that because
Yeah.
the whole point of Zero, the thing that I'm doing also an ongoing series, is to sort of write myself out of like the man pain phase,
Yeah.
you know, like you're sort of like get over yourself in that
Yeah.
aspect. And Winter Soldier is much more expansive and much more galactic, and beautifully it just worked out so that as Guardians of Galaxy and
Yeah.
Winter Soldier movies come out at the same
Seriously.
time, it sort of merges those worlds.
You are pretty much the perfect mashup comic for a Marvel movie fan right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel the same way.
The other book that one of
Yes.
my favorite books that we publish.
Ditto.
Every time it comes out, it's a delight. Secret Avengers is just
Yeah.
incredible.
We're big into Secret Avengers. We talk about it on our podcast all the time. We try to push people. That's one of the funniest and yet most heartfelt books we put
and that's
out.
the thing. It's an amazing
He's
balance
just
that you
soaking
guys
it
are
in.
able to strike on that book, and it's
Bring it.
kudos to you.
Thank you. It's awesome. It's especially awesome because I'm basically writing certain issues without an outline. Like the Deadpool issue 7, I had no idea what would happen in it.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Just sitting down
I
at the
just
table
sat
figuring it out,
down.
right?
I basically have
That's
this thing that's
crazy.
called Vomit Draft, where
Yeah.
I go and I just write without looking at it. I just type it all out.
Yeah.
And then after that, I do another draft, which is much more,
Yeah.
not necessarily even structured, but I definitely pay attention and I'm very discerning. Well, the difference was that with this, it just all just sort of flew out, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I wrote this in like 48 hours, and I don't really even want to edit it. I sent it over, and they were like, no, that's really good.
Who's editing you on that book?
Will Moss, the same as
I was going to say.
the
you
same
guys must
as
have
on
a-
Winter
you guys
Soldier.
have a
Yeah.
Good back and forth.
Well, I would like
conversation,
to thank DC Entertainment for giving us the first chance on Suicide Squad because we loved it so much that we went to Marvel to
Yeah.
do more things together.
We appreciate it as well. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If you're watching.
Money, 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 money.
So writing these two books, writing Bucky Barnes and writing Secret Avengers, do you have to get in a very different headspace for each of them? Not to mention, you mentioned Zero before. You've got a lot of different series going on that share some commonalities, but definitely in different headspaces. How do you kind of balance out the division of labor?
I usually aim to write just one thing for at least a few days, ideally a few issues at once, so maybe a week or 10 days. And when that works out, the flow is really beautiful and it's really nice. Also, I see Zero and Secret Avengers as Winter Soldier as a trilogy in a way.
Interesting.
Because they're all very much about war and about spies, but they're both... Secret Avengers is very absurdist book.
Oh, yeah.
Zero's very much, at least in the beginning, Zero feels much more like a tragedy. And Winter Soldier was a way for me to sort of meld both.
Yeah.
And when I look at them thematically and how they develop around each other, they really do form a trilogy where as I work certain things out, I'm pushing further and further and further. And Winter Soldier and Zero are sort of coming together in that really cool way when I can see them influence each other. I see that sometimes with creators when they're making multiple books, like how you can see that they are thinking about that thing a lot. Yeah. And it's just really delightful. Most of the time it's very, very easy. Yeah.
We have some questions coming in, some thoughts coming in.
Bring it on.
Sophia, who's been watching us all the time, wants to know, out of all the wide cast of characters you have for Secret Avengers, who's your favorite?
I really don't have one. Sometimes it's MODOK because sometimes I feel like MODOK, you know. Sometimes, I mean, most of the times though, MODOK sounds like Harlan Ellison in my head, you know. So that's actually that's pretty much canon now, I think. Other times it's Spider-Woman. Other times it's Hawkeye. It's all these characters, characters in everything that I really do. I have to start from a position of empathy, and I have to imagine being in everyone's skin. I have to feel them. So I have to realize that there's always a connection for me. It's like, any connection between you and another human being. You know that we're all connected to everyone. So that's where I approach it from. So no favorites, but I really do love everyone.
I like that.
Good answer.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the comic book bros have some thoughts about Bucky. You want to know, will we see Bucky's reaction to what's going on with Steve now as he's, been aged and stuff like that? But I think, Bucky's in a totally different space right now. You get that?
Yeah, right now. Yeah. Right now he is. There's always the possibility of interacting with that. Right now we're focusing on Bucky being in space, so he might not even necessarily know about it yet.
Yeah. Oh, I think that makes it more interesting because down the line, he's not going to know about it right off the bat. There could be, this is the new status quo, and then he walks into this, and everyone's like, oh, we've already adjusted to this.
There's plenty of potential for stories.
I think that'd be really
many
cool.
different ones.
Yeah, when you guys get to it. But yeah, the stuff you're doing right now in the initial arc, I think is, we got to get through that first. That's what's going to Asgard.
Thank you. Oh yeah, an issue
awesome.
2. Yeah, there's gigantic wolves, and I started writing for like wolves of Asgard, which are really, really large.
Yeah.
Like
bigger than
way
that.
larger. Yeah.
Bigger than that.
Yeah. And I started writing for Marco Rudy in a way that utilizes splash pages a lot more, which is really exciting.
It's got to be different to write for Marco Rudy than for just one of
I just opened it up. I'm basically writing in a similar way that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were co-writing, where you could see that there really wasn't much of a division of labor. It was about the invention. It's not like you can ever measure who contributes more or less. Even for me and Marco, it's like impossible, and it's not really any sort of a match where we're trying to outdo one another, except for creatively. Yeah. And it makes for a really good pairing. Yeah. So writing for him in a way that actually is almost dialogue-less in the beginning, but I describe the emotion, I describe the visuals, that just, when he comes back with something, it's always absolutely fascinating to me. It's better than what I imagine in my head.
Nice. We're almost out of time. We have a comment from the Wolfman. He says, "Hey, I love your wolf jacket, buddy." So he likes that.
Thank you.
But
there you go.
Before we get out of here, I do want to make a note. Coming back to what we talked about with Kieran Gillen on Thursday or Friday. Sexy
2 words.
Namor.
Yeah.
Sexy Namor is back.
In a
you
big
are
way.
taking control.
Yes, me and Kieran agreed that there is a part of us that is sexy Namor, and therefore
there's a part of all of us that's sexy
Yes,
Namor.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I find that it's very important to objectify men as well.
I agree.
So we should, in a very positive manner, of
Very
course.
positive.
I
manner.
think it's safe to say sexy Namor could be inside all of us.
Yeah.
And it could be a great Marvel comic, exactly like that.
Sexy Namor in 2015?
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go.
Bring it on.
Alice, we always love having you by, man. Always a pleasure, whether you're coming to the office or here. Thanks for visiting us. Guys, we are going to be back with plenty more guests, plenty more excitement here on Marvel Live from New York Comic Con 2014, brought to you by Marvel Contest of Champions.
Love you.
Little piece of what this